There's nothing serious going on here. You didn't come to save the world. It isn't needing to be saved. You didn't come to fix a broken world. It isn't broken. It's less broken than it's ever been. It's more expanded than it's ever been. There's more opportunity for more joy than there has ever been. You didn't come to straighten people out that believe differently than you. There's plenty of room for plenty of people to believe plenty of things about plenty of things about plenty of things. You don't need them to think like you do in order to feel good, but you've got to be in sync with the source within you in order to feel good. There's no way around that. You see, you've come too far. You know too much. Your source energy in physical bodies, and when you deviate from that, you experience the anger and the frustration and the sadness and the pain of the disconnection that you have imposed upon yourself. No one's doing anything to you, even though sometimes it feels like it. No one is doing anything to you. You have created a vibrational environment that allows it, but no one is doing anything to you. And then the next thing we want to say to you about that is, when something's happening to you that doesn't feel very good, and you say, oh, I would not have chosen that, therefore someone else must have been choosing it for me because I would not have chosen that. After a while, once you accept that you have chosen it, whether you meant to or not, then you really have your own empowerment. Because as long as you think that somebody else is doing something to you, then you are vulnerable and cowering and hiding and defending all the time. And being in the mode of defense is a terrible feeling, isn't it? So when you realize that you are attracting whatever is coming, if it's good, Esther would say, oh, I did that. I did that. I did that. Oh, I did that too. I did that too. But when you realize that you've attracted something unwanted, don't feel like that. Instead, acknowledge that there is something there for you. There's something that you want, that this experience, no matter what it is bringing to you. Something that you want. And we can tell you right now what it is. It's to stand unconditionally in your own power. Is to stand unconditionally in your own knowing of worthiness, regardless of what somebody else is thinking or saying or doing. We're eager to talk with you about anything that matters to you. There is nothing that is off limits. It will be a perfect unfolding. You'll see how it goes. Don't worry if we do not call specifically on you to bring you forward to voice your question or comment, because someone will come to do it. And somewhere in our answer will be the answer to the things that you are looking for. So just relax and trust that what's on your mind we will address fully here today. What do you want to talk about? It's going to be a really good day. A lot of trouble in this room. Begin right here.
Hi. So today I wanted to talk about what you just mentioned about when you know that you are shielding yourself from being in alignment. How do you stop that and become better at it? Because I know sometimes that I'm choosing to have a bad day. Like, I can stub my toe and just let it ruin my whole morning, or I can stub my toe and like go on my day. But sometimes I think the more I know about the law of attraction, the more I can control it, the more sometimes I do it in a negative way.
Well, that really is why we're talking about step 5.
Right.
Step 5 is no longer being mad at yourself when you're in step 1.
I'm having so much of a blockage right now with...
Let us tell you why and then what to do about it. Because, really good question, and expressed in a way that everyone can relate. The answer that we so much want you to hear is, don't be mad at yourself when you're having one of those bad days, because law of attraction is helping you to have one of those bad days, because there is momentum about those subjects that is just sort of carrying you away with it. And in the same way that if you are in an avalanche on the side of a snowy mountain, you're probably going to go in the direction of the avalanche. And so the answer, what to do about it, is to wait for another time when the momentum is not carrying you so strongly in a direction that you don't want to go. In other words, pretty soon the avalanche is going to stop and you're going to poke your head up out of the snow and it's going to be a bright sunny day and you're going to move on. In other words, there is going to be a time that's easier than in this time that you're describing, in which you're being so hard on yourself. So the words that we want you to hear and remember from this conversation as you're moving forward in the next days is, do your best to get out ahead of it when you're feeling good. Don't try to stop momentum when it is moving in a direction that doesn't feel good, because the momentum is not going to let you do that. But wait for a time when there's not that kind of momentum, and then practice a better feeling momentum. So each time you practice a better feeling momentum, what happens is you get this overall momentum of well-being going, so that then you can ride out those conditions that show up every now and again. That's why you gave us the perfect example. Sometimes when you stub your toe and you've got that negative momentum going, it feels like just the last straw that's just going to take you down. And why even try? Damn, 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 damn. My toe is hurting, my toe is hurting, my toe is hurting. But if you've got a different kind of momentum going, and you're not watching what you're doing sort of out of excitement and enthusiasm, and you trip up, even though it hurts, because the positive momentum is stronger, then you don't let it turn into a terrible day. So it's all about what the direction of your momentum was about before this situation happened. Now, in the stubbing of your toe, there's a lot of self-blame in that sort of thing. But instead of saying you've stubbed your toe, let's say that somebody up close to you is introducing themselves into your experience in a negative way. It's easier for you to hear it. Haven't you noticed that sometimes when that happens, you ride more easily with it, and sometimes when it happens, you let that be the reason that they've picked a fight with you? And so it's all about what's the momentum before it happened. When you go to sleep at night, momentum subsides. You have a much better opportunity when you first wake up in the morning to get your momentum going in the aligned way, in the receptive mode way. And it helps to have had some bad days, enough of them that it makes you decide, I'm going to do this. I'm going to take the respite that my slumber has given me. I'm going to accept that momentum has subsided dramatically. And when you wake up in the morning, think on purpose. Think purposefully about things that do feel better. Don't go back to the subject that was bothering you yesterday, or you just begin the negative momentum all over again. So it's sort of like this. Different subjects have different momentum. They're not all active in you at the same time. Anything that you're not thinking about right now is inactive. Now, we've not said this before, so enjoy this new understanding of this, and we are appreciating your question that brings us to this place. Anything that you're not thinking about is not active right now, and so your point of attraction doesn't include it, and you're not increasing the momentum of it right now. But everything that you've ever felt about anything still is right there where you left it. And so when you start thinking it again, you're going to pick up the momentum of it right where you last left it. Ooh, isn't that interesting to know? So stay off those hot button subjects, or do your best when you're feeling good to find another way, if you can, of thinking about it. So we have two things that we're encouraging you to do. One, wake up and try to change the subject. And two, realize that whatever it is that you're thinking about is gathering momentum, so be mindful of what you're adding momentum to. Just be mindful of what you're adding momentum to. You might even say, I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about that. It's kind of a little tricky because every subject is two subjects. And so on one end of the stick is what you want, and on the other end of the stick is the absence of what you want. And sometimes you might think that you're thinking about what you want when actually you're activating it where you last left it, and so it's in a vibration where you don't want it. So we like to give this analogy. You may have heard us give this before, but it's going to settle in with you right now. Let's say there are 5 important subjects in your life that you think about from time to time. 5 really important subjects. And let's say that 4 of them are going really well. Really positive momentum on those. And 1 of them not going well. Really negative momentum on those. If you chew on the one that doesn't feel good, you hold yourself in the receptive mode of what you don't want relative to everything, because you're setting your vibrational frequency based upon what you're thinking about. So you could have 4 things going bad and 1 thing going good, and you could discipline yourself to focus on the 1 thing that's feeling good, and it would raise the vibration within you so that you could no longer rendezvous with the things that are not working for you on the other 4 subjects, and they would all have to improve. Isn't that nice to know? So are you following us when we talk about your point of attraction? You know how you establish what your point of attraction is? By what you broadcast. What you're broadcasting, what you're thinking about, what you're speaking, what you're talking about, that's what sets your point of attraction. So let's say that something has happened, and overall you mostly feel good about most things, but you're focused upon this thing that doesn't feel good. You're letting it control your point of attraction. So even though the universe has already found solutions to get you to where you want to go, you can't get in the receptive mode and even get a good idea about those solutions, because you're focused on the 1 thing that is bothering you.